Before talking about Coolie, I want to give my thoughts on the three main pillars of why I was so excited for this movie. Anirudh, Lokesh, and of course, Thalaiva. To begin with Ani, what can I say about his music that hasn't been said yet? He delivers every time, and when I first listened to the Coolie album, I immediately thought it was one of his best works, as his work with Lokesh usually is. And Lokesh continuously says that the BGM in his movies is what he mainly focuses on, and that shows in every Lokesh Ani combo. Bottom line is, I love Anirudh and I think he works best with Lokesh and Nelson. And he's shown time and time again how much he loves Tolliver and how he consistently delivers his best work for him. Now, Lokesh. Lokesh is a special director, which is clearly shown in how much the public adores him. His name is a brand because all of his films range from really good to amazing. My personal favorites are Vikram and Master. He's able to mix commercial moments, which are packed with emotions behind it, so the adrenaline rush you get from watching the fights makes it seem worth it. Every character, both main and side, get a chance to shine organically. When Master released, more people praised Vijay Sethupathi over Vijay, which was crazy at the time. When Vikram released, every star, Kamal Hassan, Fahad Fasil, Vijay Sethupathi, and Surya all had multiple moments fans could take home with them. Lokesh has a distinct type of filmmaking that everyone likes, and though the Leo flashbacks suffered, the movie was still overall really good. Lokesh is undoubtedly the number one director in Tamil cinema right now, so him joining hands with the number one star in Tamil cinema easily makes it the biggest film of the year. Now, my connection to Thalaiva is definitely special. He's my favorite actor, favorite star. He's the one and only superstar. Every movie that releases of his is a festival even in America. When every update dropped for both Coolie and his previous films, I'm downstairs on the TV blasting it in the morning. The weeks leading up to a Thalaiva movie, that's all I can think about. He's my wallpaper, my Twitter banner, follow the Twitter by the way, and he's the biggest star Tamil cinema has. I watch his audio launch speeches for motivation, and he's easily the best orator on stage. As soon as this combo was announced, everyone started talking about 1,000 crores because that's the brand Talibar has. Especially when he's joined with Lokesh. I love the title teaser, love Chickada vibe, love the 100 Days to Coolie promo, love the full song Chickada, loved Monica, loved Powerhouse, loved the album, and loved the trailer. When I was walking out of Vetian at the end, I was definitely satisfied for a Gnanavel Thalaivar movie, but I was talking about how the mass moments didn't feel as powerful as they did in Jailer and Peta and even Darbar. But I knew that's not the story Gnanavel wanted to tell. Vetian is actually super underrated. I need to make a video on that. But I thought Lokesh wanted to make a movie full of mass moments. Even Nagarjuna said in an interview that it's a full
Is a
whistle, whistle, whistle movie. I thought Vetian would be a good content Thalaivar movie, and Coolie would be the biggest and best Thalaivar movie of the decade. So, what did I think of Coolie? Well, to start, do I even need to say that Thalaivar stuns in every frame and every scene he's in? He easily steals the show as he always does, and you feel his aura, which is something that happens in every Thalaivar movie. The real question is, does Lokesh use Taliver's aura well? I would say to an extent, yes. The action scenes are done well, especially considering Taliver is 74 years old. But I found one action scene in the middle to come out of nowhere and didn't have the special Lokesh flavor that he usually has. But the hostel fight and the mansion fight, those were fantastic, and I felt that it was Lokesh using Taliver properly. And what can I say about that flashback scene? Easily my favorite scene in any of Lokesh's films. It was perfect. The de-aging, the Taliver dialogue modulation. My theater lost it. I also have to say, this is the loudest I've ever heard an American theater for any Indian movie. Not Jailer, not Vetian, not Vikram, not Leo, not Salar, not Kalki. It was Coolie. The intro scene for Taliver was amazing, and people cheered so loud I couldn't even hear the background music. Speaking of which, Anirudh was on his A game for this movie. I need the Coolie OST now, and also the Leo OST. The best thing about Ani in this movie is he knew when to stop the music and when to slow it down. In Vetian, the music never really stops, but Ani was more clever in this movie and it really fit. Both picturizations for Chickadee and Monica were also excellent. Chickadee was my personal favorite though. Sandy's choreography was great and Tulliver, as usual, brought its energy and knocked it out of the park. Also, the title card is fantastic. 50 years of the greatest star in all of Indian cinema. The monologue scene where he speaks without cutting for around 3 minutes, that is peak Taliver. The rest of the star cast, though, is left with more to be desired. Nagarjuna is completely fine as the villain. He doesn't get much to do to shine besides hype Deliver up. Every time he says, I've seen you somewhere, and they quickly cut to scenes of the flashback, that was perfect. It also goes without saying that his looks in this movie are absolutely fantastic. Nagarjuna does not age. Shobin, however, killed it as Dayal, and the twist upon twist that Lokesh gave him worked for me. His wife character was also very easily hateable, and the scene where she died had my theater cheering. Shobin also rocks in the Monica song, and he cements himself as one of my favorite Mollywood actors. Satyaraj is in this movie to die, and there's not much that can be said about his performance. Not bad, but not great, though his de-aging was phenomenal as well. I did enjoy Shruti Hassan's performance here. The plotline between her and Thalaiva, where she turns out to be Thalaiva's daughter, was also done well for me. When he realizes in the mansion fight, and at the end when he chooses not to tell her that he's her father, it was all good writing and performed well. Upendra's intro was fantastic, and his team up with Talibar in the mansion fight was so good. Though I loved everything about the Amir Khan scene and it made my theater blast, I have to say it wasn't really necessary. They just wanted to do Pan India and brought him in. But with that being said, Lokesh cooked here. The scene where Talibar, Amir, and Upendra smoke a beedi, that's what I wanted the whole movie to be like. As I said, Nagarjuna said that this movie is whistle, whistle, whistle. But to be honest, it isn't. It didn't feel slow, but I felt like there was something missing. I honestly have a hard time putting my finger on it. But I guess the easiest thing to say about this movie is that the writing just wasn't on par with Lokesh's previous films. Even Leo. Why did Shobin or Nag ask Talivar to teach them how to operate the chair so they don't need them? How did Shobin not see his wife on the train? She even called him and asked what happened on the train when she's there. What? How did Satyaraj adopt Shruti? Where did the heart transplant plotline come from? How did Shruti Hassan not recognize Shobin's wife when she just saw her on a video call? And why does almost every interesting conversation need to happen over a phone call? God, I mean, what happened here, Loki? Was it the producer pressure? But that wouldn't even make sense because he said time and time and again that he's got to pick his own release date for this movie. He's had enough time to write the script and he said he has no compromise in violence. So this might be the most pure 100% Loki movie we get. Maybe it's better if we just stick to 50-50. It's these little things that add up that make the movie feel more artificial, and what I would currently say is a weaker movie than both Jailer and Vetian. I walked out mixed because though I enjoyed it, it wasn't up to par with what I was expecting. But to be fair, I had really, really high expectations. It seemed the whole movie was just building to the amazing climax and flashback scenes, but I wish the whole movie was the flashback, honestly. It would have been fantastic. Nelson remains the best to use Talivar in recent days since Karthik Subbaraj. I'm honestly not that big of a fan of Unburied nowadays. They used to be good, but now their recent fights don't hold much weight. Besides Ani's score amplifying the fights in movies, some movies like Aelan, Indian 2, Game Changer, and Thug Life, I can't even remember a single action scene or don't want to remember any. Stunt Shiva used Rajni so much better in Jailer. Man, I cannot wait for Jailer 2, but at the same time, I'm worried. The reason Coolie didn't hit with me as hard as it should have was the expectations. But it's hard not to have these expectations when this combo comes together. Also, I feel like this cements my take that Nelson is better than Lokesh, but we have to see next year if that still holds up. The thing that keeps running through my mind is that flashback though. Man, Lokesh cooked here. He used Rajini so well, honestly, at some points. The comedic scenes were great. Rajini has amazing comedic timing that was only really used well by Nelson, Loki, and Karthik Subraj recently. Overall, that flashback was great, but the rest of the movie never hit that high. Though I walked out a little bit disappointed, this is 100% a good movie. It also goes to show that just with the Rajni Lokesh combo, he set a record for highest Hollywood opening, highest USA premiere for any Tamil movie, and highest UK premiere for any Tamil movie. Even with the mixed reviews, I think it'll easily end up as the highest grossing Tamil movie of the year, and possibly Lokesh's highest grossing movie. It is rated A, clashed with War 2, so it might be even difficult. But even with the rated A, plus a clash with War 2 and no IMAX and no LCU Connect, we're still setting records. That's crazy. This movie isn't outgrossing Jailer though. That movie is peak. Nelsa, please don't let me down next year. Honestly, this year of commercial star Tamil cinema wasn't the best. It looks like we really hit our stride in 2023 because 2024 wasn't that good either. Let's hope 2026 is better. Wait. God, please let that movie be good. I honestly want to see Loki work with Talivar again. The cinematography is great and he's able to pull good performances out of all the actors he has. He just really lost it in the writing. Lokesh has a whole universe ahead of him, and if this is what it's going to be like, specifically compared to what we know Lokesh is capable of, I'm honestly more worried than excited. Anyways, Thalaiva, love you. Ani, love you. Lokesh, work on your writing, man. I'm gonna give Coolie a 8 out of 10. Seems high for everything I complained about, but I just expected something better. Though, even with all that I've said, I've still got tickets to see it again, so who's the real winner here?
முடிச்சிடலாமா